welcome students. In this video we are going to study about some important compounds of sodium like sodium oxide, sodium hydroxide, sodium chloride, sodium sulfate, sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. So let's start their study. Sodium oxide. So first of all, preparation of sodium oxide. Sodium oxide can be found by thermal decomposition of NaNO3 and NaNO2. When these are heated in absence of air, it decomposes to form sodium oxide, nitrogen and oxygen. Another possibility is that if we heat NaNO3 and NaNO2 with sodium metal. So there are two ways to form sodium oxide. First is decomposition of these compounds, thermal decomposition, and second is heating these in the presence of sodium metal, and in both the cases we get sodium oxide. The properties of sodium oxides are that sodium oxide is that it's ionic, it's pure white in color, and it is a strong base. As we know, oxides of alkali metals are base. And next is sodium hydroxide, which we know is also known as caustic soda. The formula is NaOH. It is prepared by electrolysis of NaCl in Kastner-Kellner shell. This is done by electrolyzing brine. Brine means aqueous solution of NaCl using mercury cathode and carbon anode, and these are the reactions which take place at cathode and anode. What happens? The chlorine gas evolved at anode. We can see the reaction here. Chloride, which is formed by dissolution of NaCl, is actually oxidized to chlorine. Why oxidation? Because here it was -1 oxidation state, here it's 0, so it is losing electrons. That means oxidation of chloride ion into chlorine takes place at anode, which results in evolution of chlorine gas. At the same time, at cathode, sodium metal is discharged. That means there is sodium ion, it takes electron and it gets discharged to form sodium, and this sodium metal combines with mercury to form sodium amalgam. The amalgam on treatment with water forms sodium hydroxide, mercury and hydrogen gas. So what we do overall, we take NaCl, we dissolve it in water, we get Na positive and Cl negative, then we pass electricity in the cell, and at anode this chloride is oxidized to give chlorine gas, and this sodium ion is discharged and it reacts with mercury to form sodium amalgamate, and this sodium amalgam when treated with water results in formation of sodium hydroxide, mercury and hydrogen gas. Now the properties of sodium hydroxide: it is a white translucent solid. It gives alkaline solution when it is dissolved in water, which is property of alkali metals, because alkali metals form alkaline hydroxides. Crystals are deliquescent. At the surface of NaOH solution, Na2CO3 sodium carbonate is formed by reaction with carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now the uses: it is used in petroleum refining process, it is used in manufacturing of soap paper, artificial silk and number of other chemicals. It is used in purification of bauxite, which is an ore. It is used in textile industry in cotton fabric, basically cotton industry. It is used in preparation of pure fat and oils, and it is used as a reagent in laboratory, basically used in titrations. Next is sodium chloride. This is also known as common salt, which we used in food at our home, and this is obtained basically from sea water. What is done, that seawater is exposed to sun and the air in large shallow pits. The gradual evaporation of water leading to the crystallization of the salt. What happens that this sodium chloride salt is dissolved in seawater in large amount. So when we evaporate the seawater, it left behind the white crystalline sodium chloride and the water gets evaporated. Then the purification is done by dissolving the salt in minimum amount of water and then filtering if necessary to remove the immiscible impurities. The solution is then saturated to a certain dry hydrogen chloride, whereby crystals of pure sodium chloride precipitate out. So what is done? First of all, sodium chloride is prepared by evaporation of seawater which contains NaCl. Water gets evaporated leaving behind the salt, and then purification of salt is done by first dissolving it in water. We know salt is properly dissolved in water, it would get dissolved, and whatever impurity is there, that will remain undissolved. That impurity is filtered out, and in the clear filtrate, which is water containing NaCl in dissolved form, we pass hydrogen chloride gas, which results in precipitation of pure sodium chloride crystals. And this was the actually how we obtain it from seawater. Now if we want to prepare, there's sodium carbonate, another compound, and if we want to prepare sodium carbonate, we use the process known as Solvay process, in which ammonia is reacted with water and carbon dioxide gas is passed. Then we get a ammonium carbonate, which is then again treated with water and carbon dioxide, and then finally it is treated with NaCl, which results in formation of ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate. This sodium hydrogen carbonate is when heated, it decomposes to give sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide and water. So these are the reactions involved in Solvay process, which is used for preparation of sodium carbonate, which is also known as washing soda. And the formula is Na2CO3. And then ammonia is again recovered by treating the solution containing ammonium chloride with calcium hydroxide. This is when treated with calcium hydroxide, we get ammonium, calcium chloride and water. But Solvay process cannot be used for manufacturing of potassium carbonate. It is used for formation of synthesis of sodium carbonate, but for potassium carbonate we can't use this method. Why? Because sodium hydrogen carbonate, which was produced, which was a part of the reaction in case of Solvay process for the preparation of sodium carbonate. What we did, we prepared sodium hydrogen carbonate and then we heated that, which got decomposed to form sodium carbonate. But in case if we use the same method for preparation of potassium carbonate, we will again get potassium hydrogen carbonate, but that potassium hydrogen carbonate is highly soluble in water and hence cannot be precipitated by addition of ammonium hydrogen carbonate, and that's why it is not used for preparation of this. Next is properties of sodium carbonate. Actually, sodium carbonate is a white crystalline solid. It exists as decahydrates with 10 water molecules. Decahydrate means 10 water of crystallization. It is easily soluble in water. Again, it loses its water of crystallization. Actually, it exists in this form. Na2CO3 is general formula. It exists along with 10 water molecules. When it is heated, it loses this 9 water of crystallization and result in formation of a compound Na2CO3 9H2, as you can see here. If this sodium carbonate decahydrate is heated above 372 Kelvin, it results in formation of monohydrated compound and removal of 9 water of crystallization, which is when further heated results in formation of anhydride sodium carbonate. The carbonate part is hydrolyzed by water, resulting in alkaline solution. If it is dissolved in water, it will result in formation of an alkaline solution. Now, what are the uses of sodium carbonate? It is used for softening of hard water. It is used in laundering, for cleaning, in manufacturing of glass, soap, borax and caustic soda, in industries in manufacturing of paper, paints and textile, and it is used as a reagent in laboratories. Next is sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate. The formula is NaHCO3. It is commonly known as baking soda. Now it is springly soluble in water. It is not entirely soluble, it is just slightly soluble, springly soluble in water. And when heated between 250 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius, it is converted into pure anhydrous sodium carbonate, as we discussed in previous one also, that sodium hydrogen carbonate when heated gets decomposed into sodium carbonate, water and carbon dioxide. A concentrated solution of sodium carbonate absorbs CO2 to give springly soluble sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so this can be prepared by passing carbon dioxide into sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is when treated with carbon dioxide gas and water, it results in formation of sodium hydrogen carbonate. And sodium hydrogen carbonate is known as baking soda. Why? Because when it is heated, it gets decomposed to produce bubbles of carbon dioxide. It decomposes and produces bubbles of CO2 on heating. This is the reason why holes are formed in cakes or pastries. As a result, they are light and fluffy. So they are used in food, in baking industry basically, to make cake, pastries fluffy, because when it is mixed with dough and it is cooked, heat is absorbed by sodium hydrogen carbonate, which gets decomposed to form water vapors and carbon dioxide gas. They come out with pressure and they form holes in the cakes, and the cake and the pastry become fluffy. Next is sodium chloride, common salt again. Now, preparation of sodium chloride, first we have studied that it is formed by evaporation of water. Just evaporate and it will be formed. So we just discussed that sodium chloride is formed by evaporation of water, sea water. Second, we discussed that how it is synthesized, and now we will see the properties of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is basically colorless crystalline salt. It is almost insoluble in water and alcohol. It is almost insoluble in alcohol and other organic compounds, but it is highly soluble in inorganic solvents like water, because it is polar. Next, it gives rise to HCl when heated with concentrated H2SO4, chlorine with MnO2 plus H2SO4, like this. When NaCl is heated with sulfuric acid, it results in formation of NaHSO4 and HCl gas. When this compound is again reacts with NaCl, it results in formation of Na2SO4 and HCl. When this NaCl is reacted with manganese dioxide and H2SO4, it results in formation of MnSO4, Na2SO4, water and chlorine gas is evolved. Next is sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. The anhydrous salt is known as salt cake. It is prepared on an industrial scale by heating strongly sodium chloride with concentrated sulfuric acid, as we have just discussed in previous slide. That when sodium chloride is heated with sulfuric acid, it results in formation of sodium sulfate, like this. NaCl treated with sulfuric acid, NaHSO4 is formed. When it again reacts with NaCl, results in formation of sodium sulfate. And this is also known as Glabular's salt, or glabular salt is hydrated sodium sulfate, that means which contains 10 water of crystallization. Again, it is prepared from salt cake. This was salt cake basically, anhydrous Na2SO4, but when it contains 10 water of crystallization, it is known as glabular salt. It is formed by crystallization from water below 32 degrees Celsius. This temperature represents the transition temperature for Na2SO4 into Na2SO4 with 10 water molecules, water of crystallization. So this is basically salt cake. This is salt cake, and this is, yes, Glauber salt. This is hydrated form, this is dehydrated form. Now the next is, it is colorless salt, crystallizes in large monoclinic prism, and it exceedingly soluble in water. That means it is highly soluble in water. Now we have to discuss some questions based on all these. The compounds which is formed on combustion of sodium metal in excess of air. We know when sodium metal is heated in excess of air, it results in formation of sodium peroxide, and the formula of sodium peroxide would be Na2O2. It was asked in IIT 2009. Which of the following halide is expected to have highest melting point? We have discussed about halides of alkali metal, that their melting point, lithium chloride, let's say lithium halide, is of smallest melting point. After that it increases to sodium halide, and downward it decreases. So that means sodium is the compound with highest melting point, so it should be sodium chloride here, sodium halide, so sodium chloride here. So students, now we are aware of preparation, properties and uses of sodium oxide, sodium hydroxide, sodium chloride, sodium carbonate and sodium bicarbonate. In next video we will move to the second group of S block elements, that is alkaline earth metals. Thank you.